What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are cooking something not sweet like we did in the last episode. If you haven't checked out my first cooking video, I was making a pumpkin cake. Please check that out. It kind of makes more sense if you listen to things here. Please subscribe to my emailing list. It is very, very, very important. So consider, it's absolutely free. There's no spam, so don't worry. Please consider doing that. The link is in the description. And if you haven't already, because of why I'm doing this, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Patreon are where all the secret ingredients are to this recipe today. Today we're going to make beef stew from where my country, where I'm from, we call it goulash. So we're going to make that. And we're going to get into some stuff. So I got most of my ingredients out already to prepare for you guys, but I need my apron. Where did I put it?
Listen carefully, there is a secret in my mama's recipe.
So, this is always important. Like I said, you don't want to stain your clothes. I'm just wearing sweats around the house today because it's actually over here in Chicago, it's pretty nasty outside. The temperature is dropping. They think it might actually snow on Sunday, and it's cold and just yucky. So we're going to need a peeler. We are going to need a knife, a couple of those things. I am defrosting my meat. The meat that I bought, I love carrots, so I always use a lot of carrots. The meat that I bought actually was frozen for about 4 months, so I want to get to using that and peeling some carrots right away. I want to peel my vegetables before I get all of that. So if the lighting is not that fantastic, again, this is a very new concept for my channel. I am not prepared with all the fancy schmancy equipment. If this does take off like I need it to, I will invest. However, I have been brutally stolen from big tech and shut down. So with that being said, we have to improvise, and we are going to be cooking a lot here on this channel and sharing secret recipes, secret ingredients. Secret ingredients will be on my other platforms. Links are down in the description below. Okay, so let me just chop and peel these carrots for the stew. Get rid of this mess. So you guys may be asking, I'm freezing butter, I'm freezing meat, I'm getting all these things out of the freezer. This is only my second episode of cooking, but with that being said, I know that you guys are probably wondering, like, why does this girl freeze so much of her stuff? Well, that's because I do prep. I am a prepper. I do buy things when they are on sale. I am not a brand snob. I don't care about, you know, what brand they are and stuff like that. I don't care if they're organic. I don't care. I just get what I can get with the money that I have left over for the month and prep away, because I did do a video on a food shortage that's upcoming, and or if not here already by now, because I've been following that story for a while. More details on that topic will be on my Patreon. So I freeze a lot and I buy reduced meat. This meat that I have here was reduced stew meat, reduced beef stew meat, and it lasts a decent amount of time. I actually bought, I think 2 of those, but I'm only using 1 today. So I figured we'd use it up, make some nice beef stew, and talk to you guys about what's going on. It has been an online massacre lately. Everyone is just disappearing. I hope that this plan that I'm doing really does work. Again, we gotta keep it covert, and we gotta watch what we say in the comments. So I don't wish to censor you all. In the comments, I want you to say whatever you want to say. But if you want to protect me a little bit, please be careful with what you say in the comments. Thank you. I'm feeling a little better because I'm kind of getting an idea of where I am going, and I haven't given up, so I'm not feeling as depressed as I was in my first video, but I am kind of still, there's always that level of doubt that you have, and I do doubt myself sometimes. I wonder if I'm wasting my time and stuff like that, so we all have that there. This is actually gonna, I don't know why I'm putting them in the pot because I need to empty that pot. But they'll go in here for now. I absolutely hate cutting onions. I had this onion left over. It's pretty large. I think it'll be enough for this recipe. So hopefully, yeah, this should be plenty. So when you subscribe to my emailing list, what's gonna happen and what you're going to be sent will be basically like a schedule. Do you guys remember back in the day? I don't know how old everyone is, but at least if you were alive in the 90s, then you should know what I'm talking about. TV guides, how you would have a guide or like a schedule, and that's kind of what I'm gonna go with, where each week I'll be detailing what my video will be about, the breadcrumbs, if you will, that's what I'm calling them, and each breadcrumb, each recipe, each video has a secret ingredient or a couple secret ingredients. Those secret ingredients will be more detail on the brief discussion that I talk about while I'm cooking. Does that make sense? Are we following along? So, step back, because the onions are burning my eyes. I hate doing this. So, when I send you something, or it'll say, you know, I've started this great platform over here, or I'm strictly over here, or hey guys, I got shut down over here. I have a way to keep you all and tell you what's going on. Ever since I was shut down off Facebook, I had a lot of people thought that I actually blocked them and were wondering where I went. And certain people on different platforms only follow me on those platforms. They don't follow me across the board. So let's say I have people who you know, very much follow me on Facebook. They don't really follow me on YouTube because they watch my stuff on Facebook. So if I have the emailing list, I'm able to keep everyone updated fairly and show you guys what's going on and send you information. Even if my website is taken down, I can still send you guys information, just, you know, literally just informative emails to read. I mean, if that's the worst case, if that's where we're headed. Ooh, I'm crying. I know there's a trick to cut the onion so it doesn't make you cry. I just never do that, and I regret it because I'm literally crying. Let's get rid of those pheromones, those toxic fumes, toxic onion fumes. Do you guys see the tears like on my actual eyeball? Awful. Don't mind this mess. I have, if you guys, I don't know, can you see my floor? I hope not, because I have a Rottweiler. She does not have the best table manners. Sometimes there is dog food pieces on the floor. So excuse me for that. So actually we have to put all these vegetables in here for now because we are going to brown the meat in this pan first. So I've been making this for years. I feel like each time I make it, it gets better. You need your holy grail vegetables, which is always celery, carrots, onion, and garlic. Lots of garlic because I am obsessed with it. But we need olive oil. Alright, so back to a topic that I wanted to discuss was talking about why I freeze things, the prepping. Please check out my food shortage videos. I think they're still on my channel. They haven't been taken down. But if not, they are on my Patreon and on my BitChute, my Brighton, all these other weird links that I have to use. I actually need a little bit more. Heat that up. The thing about it is, whether or not there is a shortage or a break in the supply chain, whatever the case may be, I do believe in prepping regardless. I do think you should always prep. And some people consider them hoarders, some people consider them selfish. Well, no one is calling you selfish or hoarding when you have, let's say, an extra couple $1,000s in the bank account. No one's calling you selfish or hoarding for that, and that's for an emergency. You don't make fun of people like that, because when you need the money, you get the money. And it's the same thing with food and supplies. These are necessary. They're necessary to stock up on, and you never waste it. You rotate it. Like I'm doing with this meat, I had to defrost it. Like I'm doing with the butter, I use the old stuff first. When I go shopping, I put it straight in the freezer, and I rotate. I have a rotation going on. So it's not as expensive as people think. Food prices are going to become much more expensive. And I've defrosted this nicely. And on top of that, food prices, I'm sorry, the food in general is going to be changing tremendously. A lot of farmers and stuff, they're actually, government agencies are actually telling the farmers that they will make up more money. They will make more money if they get rid of their farm and change it into a forest preserve or forestry. And of course they're going to, I can't say too much. So that's one of the trends coming on, and they're trying to get people more dependent on this food they supply us, rather than you growing your own, saving your own, learning how to make your own. And this is very vital, and this is what I was saying before in my first video, where I'm very old school. I very much believe I do believe in gender roles, and I know I might get hate for saying this, but I very much believe that a woman can do anything that she wants. I very much believe a man can do anything that he wants. I do believe the woman should definitely know how to cook. It's awesome if a man knows how to cook too. And I do believe a man should know like certain man things. Like, this is just how I like it. And everyone's different, and everyone has their own talents and gifts. No matter what your gender role is, or the gifts that you acquire, or the skill set that you have, you should have a partner as well, or a family that balances you out and knows a bunch of different things. So you have a whole squad, a whole gang of people who just know a bunch of stuff. Oh, I just ripped my sweater some more. So let's drain this a little, because you want to rinse our meat just a little bit. And I will be moving soon off grid, and I'm very excited to have my own land and to basically be self-sufficient one day. It won't happen overnight. Nothing ever does. Nothing good ever happens overnight, but I am making those concrete steps to let that happen. So that's something else that I wanted to say. So right here, we're gonna heat up our skillet, our pot, get the olive oil extra hot, so we can caramelize our meat and get that real nice flavor. And we're just gonna caramelize the edges. I'm gonna pat it dry a little bit. You don't want super wet meat. And make that nice and caramelized. So I'll take you guys over here. Okay, so we came over here. We are browning the oil. We got the oil nice and hot. I love the sizzle sound.
Yes, Daddy.
Okay. We need some of these, so we'll let that cook a little bit. Now, I will also be having exclusive interviews coming on my channel, i.e. my Patreon, actually. I will be having very exciting special guests. I'm sure you guys have heard of them, and I'm very excited to get them on board here with me and share their experiences and their knowledge with you guys. One that I have upcoming first will be the Urban Prepper here on YouTube. He has great prepping knowledge. We are going to be doing a couple collaborations, and he will help you guys get a little more knowledge on prepping, stuff like that, where I will be over on his channel probably after the election, giving his viewers all the information about breaks in the supply chain, what's happening to the agricultural industry, and everything going on with that. And I'm really excited to talk about it because I'm very well versed in it. There will also be more updated videos on everything regarding farming, prepping, food shortages, food prices, agendas, all regarding the food supply and stuff like that on my Patreon as well. So that will be happening. And I have a secret special guest that I'm very excited to announce, but I'm not announcing yet. We're not going to go there yet, but I am very excited. So another quick cooking tip that I always recommend is don't season your red meat right away. Season it halfway through. It's caramelizing, just because sometimes if you season your meat too quickly, it tends to become more like chewy and more just not the right texture. And every layer you want to season your dish, so every step that you take when you're cooking, you want to season it. You don't want to season everything right away at one time. You want to season every layer. So I season the meat, I take the meat out, I put the vegetables in, I season the vegetables separately. I season the stock and the broth separately, and it becomes a very nice, well-balanced, seasoned dish. So I got a lot of juices coming out of the meat. I save the juices. Some people drain it. I save it. I think there's a lot of good flavor in there. It helps deepen the flavor profile of the dish. So I like to keep the red meat juices in there. I got this really awesome book that I want to show you guys. Where did I put it? Here. This book actually came in the mail today. It's called Nourishing Traditions, the cookbook that challenges politically correct nutrition and diet dictocrats by Sally Fallon. And I actually got it used on Amazon for $12. I think it runs 20 bucks. But I am a baddie on a budget, so I always try to buy my books used. There's, just so you guys know, if you are kind of new to buying used books and you think there's going to be stains and weird marks on it and stuff, 9 times out of 10 they just say that it is, and it's not. My book said that it had highlights and stains all over it, and I got a perfectly clean copy. There's literally nothing wrong with this book at all. It's like it's brand new. So what I'm really excited about is another video series or breadcrumb, a secret ingredient that I want to be coming out with will be my theory on why I strayed away from veganism, or my theory with being vegan and why vegan became so trendy all of a sudden. This book helps me a little bit in my research in terms of cooking and a little bit with my theory, and I'm really excited to announce what my theory is because I haven't heard it anywhere and I really think I'm correct. So I'm doing more recipes with that, but this shows you how to make everything. Like, this book is so, I'm so excited to continue my channel with this and make a bunch of recipes and stuff like that for you guys. So the meat is essentially, you're not going to cook the meat all the way through. You're basically just going to sear it, caramelize the outsides. Then you're going to drain it with a slotted spoon because, again, I really like to keep these juices in here And the juices from the red meat mixed with the olive oil, mixed with flour, which we'll need eventually to make a roux, really creates an amazing flavor profile and deepens the flavor of your goulash. So the next step, we'll set these aside for now. I have my flour here, but we want to put in our vegetables. So the vegetables we cut up before, we're gonna drop right in and give those all a good, cook them down a bit, caramelize them, give them a good stir. So all that, they'll cook in that olive oil. I always add a little bit more olive oil, just a little. And I always add a little bit of butter for richness. Very small amount, because there's already enough oil. The butter just kind of makes the flavor even better. I will show you guys what we're looking at. So this is what we're looking at right here. I should have showed you the meat. I'm sorry about that. So basically we're going to wait until we cook them down and the onions will become a little translucent. So this is kind of how you want your veggies to look, more cooked down. And we want to create a roux with this. So we're just going to add some flour. Again, I don't measure anything in my life. I don't even calculate my risks. So I like to be a little thicker. Then you're going to cook the flour down because you don't want the raw flour taste. And that for 2 minutes, and I'll show you guys the next step. Okay, so I have some wine here. After I put the flour in, you want to deglaze the pan. Some people don't like cooking with wine. If you're not comfortable with cooking with wine, that's okay. I am. And I love it. I love cooking with wine. It really, oh, it smells so good. Every time I do that, just the best smell. Deglaze the pan, scrape all the stuff off the bottom, and it's really good. Now another thing, when you're prepping, something that comes to a great value actually is wine and spirits, alcohol, stuff like that. I'm not recommending to binge drink your troubles away, but it comes really in handy for a various amount of reasons, various amounts of reasons, including trading. If the dollar system and stuff crashes, or if you have something someone else wants, you can trade for it, and a lot of people will trade for alcohol and wine and things of that nature. Vodka is very good too. It helps. So that's just something to think about. Some preppers I've seen on YouTube actually get the little bottles because they're nice trading amounts. You don't have to trade a whole bottle. You can trade little bottles for things that you would need in case of a disaster, emergency, or something like that. So I got the wine cooked down, and I want to add my beef stock here. Now this is beef broth, it's not beef stock. I didn't have stock on hand. The book that I got showed me how to make a beef stock recipe, which I've never done that before, and I'm really curious. I want to learn so many things. So we're putting this in here. The whole thing. And we're going to add some tomato paste. Again, I don't measure. I'm just kind of going for it. I don't like wasting, so I use about half the can. I'll probably save this in the fridge and use another recipe. I mix that in. You want to season every amount of the dish. What am I seasoning with? I use a ton of garlic powder. You want to throw a couple bay leaves in there. Just scoop them out when you're done. Really helps with the flavor. And I love this. This is a soup base. This is beef. I also have the chicken one, but it's not necessarily powder form. And it's really great to deepen the flavor. I really like it. The chicken one is better, but I always throw some of that in to make the flavor more pronounced. And these are great things to get if you are prepping as well. So in order to save, I know it looks like I'm using a lot, but I'm about to add some more water in there. So we're just gonna add, I think, I don't know, what is this, 2 cups or something? And then stir everything together, and you want to bring it to a boil before you add back in your meat, and then we'll reduce it down to a simmer. This stuff is really cheap. It's also very good to have a lot of extra salt in your pantry, a lot of extra honey in your pantry. I'll get into that and I'll show you guys in one of my videos my pantry, my prepper pantry, everything that I have prepared, and good tips and tricks, as well as the collab that I will be doing with Urban Prepper. He has a lot of awesome tips to share with you all, because I know I got a ton of requests on my food shortage video about prepping and things like that, and I will be living off the grid or more self-sufficient very soon. You guys know I'm a city girl. I just don't like the city. I had my little phase and I'm over it. I don't want to be any part of it. I want to live low key is the way to be. And I'm really excited to, when I actually get to that point and that journey of my life, I'm really excited to share everything with you, because I know I'll be making a lot of mistakes. I know that I'll be learning new things, and I want to share my journey with you all. So that'll happen probably mid-2021 is what the goal is for. Maybe sooner, maybe not. It's all in God's plan, not mine, so what the heck do I know? So I'm gonna let this come to a boil, and then we'll go on with our next step. So it's finally coming to a gorgeous boil, which is what we want, and we will add the rest of the meat now, because it is ready. It is ready. The goulash is ready. So you just add all of that back in there, and you're going to let it simmer and cook down for like 2.5 to 3 hours. So yum. I will see you guys then. But that is basically how you make goulash. I usually serve it over rice, or pasta is good, or just plain, whatever you want. Let me flip y'all around here. Alright y'all, so that's how I made goulash. I hope you guys follow me on my Patreon for the secret ingredients to this recipe. A lot of it has to do with what I was briefly talking about in this video before. So I am very excited to see you over there on that platform. And thank you for being super covert with me and kind of seeing if this works. It only works if you guys make it work. That's how the world goes around. I need you and you need me, and that's how it works. So thank you guys so much. I will see you guys on my next recipe video.